You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Toni.
Welcome back. You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Toni. We're coming from the Concierge Landscape Studios, and during the break, you said I talk funny.
Yeah,
Toni?
you do talk funny once in a while. I think your Southern heritage comes
Betrays
through.
me sometimes.
Sometimes, and in this case, when you say the word insurance.
And what do I say?
You say insurance.
Insurance.
And that's the way my relatives down in Missouri say it.
Well, cotton picking, as my mom would say, and her best friend Junice Hoghead. I will try to be careful of that.
Okay.
Now I'm going to be. Now you got me off my
Now
game.
I got you. I'm
going to
sorry.
be
I've got you self-conscious.
Well, folks, today we are talking about insurance. That's right. We're going to be talking about insurance claims. And as we mentioned before, it is a frustrating time if you've ever had to go through one.
Yeah, it sure can be.
Yeah, and sometimes it just seems like games are played and things just take longer, and it is one where people just say, what am I going to do? Some people don't know that, it might be possible to not have to accept the settlement that the insurance company gives you. And we're going to be talking about that. Our guest today is someone who knows quite a bit about that. We're happy to have on the show this morning J. Robert Keena, who is a partner with the law firm of Helmuth and Johnson. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning. Thank you.
We're glad that you could be a part of the show here today. Now, as we were talking about here last break here, now you began working for insurance companies for a number of years. Tell us a little bit about what it was that the insurance company hired you to do.
Well, I'll give you some interesting background with regard to my career because, like most lawyers, I love talking about myself. But straight out of law school in the early 90s, I became a felony prosecutor. And I was an assistant county attorney in the 1st Judicial District and prosecuted a variety of claims or cases down there.
So it was a case of just networking then to get into... No, I'm sorry.
Well, the fact of the matter is... No, they didn't let me talk to the defendants in those cases. They only let me stick to my side.
Okay.
But the fact is, the insurance industry at that time was looking for attorneys with background like the type I had because there was a significant amount of insurance fraud going on. And in order for an insurance company to deny a claim based on fraud, the insurance company essentially has to deny the claim and prove that the insured, the property owner, is committing fraud. So they recruited me out of the prosecutor's office, and I went and represented insurance companies for just under 4 years on what are called first-party claims. And those are those claims where a person who has purchased an insurance policy has suffered a loss, whether it's a loss they created themselves intentionally or a loss that occurred and it should be covered under the insurance. So they recruited me to evaluate those claims on behalf of the insurance company, evaluate the specific provisions of the insurance policy, and protect the rights of the insurance companies.
Okay, so you had to really know that insurance contract, didn't you?
Yeah, I represented several of the large insurance companies, and I can tell you, we read those insurance policies word for word. I've had entire lunches where we've discussed the meaning of a single sentence of an insurance policy and how we can apply it.
It depends on what the word is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could probably talk about that for forever then, too, huh?
I could talk about insurance policy specific language till every listener has gone fully asleep.
Wow. Well, that's why we have you here today, Rob. But now, what are you doing?
Well, I'll say, in the year 2000, I was recruited by Helmuth and Johnson to come and start up their litigation department. At that time, Helmuth and Johnson had about a dozen lawyers. And we represented property owners in claims with relation to construction defects and insurance claims. And that's really what my practice area is. Since that time, our firm has grown significantly. We have over 40 lawyers now. In my litigation team, we have over 20 lawyers, including 11 lawyers who really work strictly on insurance claims and or construction defect claims.
It gets to be a very, very specific industry that you're in. I mean, you just because someone's an attorney doesn't mean that they have the necessary experience or expertise in a certain specific area, and litigation is different than what a lot of attorneys do.
Right. The fact of the matter is, if you ask me to litigate securities action, I'm really going to mess it up. If you ask me to litigate a breach of an insurance policy or lack of coverage, what they're arguing shouldn't be there, or a construction defect claim, I'm your guy. If you ask me to write you a will, I'm really going to create a terrible situation. In fact, I hired a lawyer to write a will for me. But if you want to just bare knuckle fight it out with an insurance company or a contractor, I can do it.
You're our man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And, in talking about this, too, I mean, a lot of people, I suppose, they kind of, it's easy to talk about insurance companies as sort of the big bad boogeyman, but insurance companies do serve a purpose. I mean, we're certainly glad that they're around when a disaster strikes. And, I've told people many times, if there's anything I want my insurance company to have a lot of money, because I want them to be able to pay out on my claim as well as everybody else when time comes.
Right, and you don't want them to pay frivolous claims. I don't want my insurance company to pay a claim that is not covered under the policy, because the fact of the matter is then my premiums will go up even if it is not my claim. I mean, the more claims that insurance companies pay out, the more they have to charge in premiums. So my position is not to say insurance companies are any sort of bad thing. In fact, they're a necessary aspect of our society. It's nice to know if something happens to your property, if you have a mortgage on it or a loan on a car or something, that an insurance company can cover you.
Yep.
Now, they're not around, though, either for altruistic reasons either. I mean, boy, sometimes, it's, yes, they're nice, catchy phrases, but like a good neighbor, State Farm is there or whatever. Yes, there is a human component, of course, to anything with a claim and dealing with people. But an insurance company has to be careful, like you said. You're concerned. Insurance companies are concerned about fraud and about overpaying. And in that whole process, I can imagine if a single family homeowner has a claim, they're really over their head. They have a contractor come out and take a look at it, what it costs, and when they have the contractor says it's going to cost this amount to cover, and the insurance company says no, it's going to cost this amount, they don't know who to trust at that point. It gets to be confusing.
Well, that's the aspect of insurance policies that throws in the human factor. Everything is subject to human error with regard to transactions like this. And the simple fact is insurance companies have an interest in not paying more than that which is covered under the policy. At times, it may seem as though they're trying to enforce their policies more strictly than they should, and lawyers like my firm come in and often litigate those issues. But the fact of the matter is what insurance companies' purpose is to pay those claims which are covered and to not pay those claims which are not covered. But then there's the gray area, and that's, I think, what you're getting at, and that is, what if they've offered to pay, or what if they've offered coverage, but they haven't offered to pay you what you need to return yourself to where you belong, which is one of the catchphrases insurers use.
Yeah. Now,